Take one.
Boom. There we go. I'm Elisa Parker. Yeah, there we go. Who are you?
Who am I? I'm Ben Judkins. I'm the director of the Cigarette Surfboard. This is kind of the star of the film here. This is one of 14 cigarette surfboards. We call it Siggy for short. And yeah, we're up here at Wild and Scenic, and let's have a conversation.
Let's talk about it, Ben. Well, we're at Wild and Scenic Film Festival. It's the largest film fest of its kind in the United States.
I've had a blast here so far. Yeah.
So, all right, first of all, let's talk, before we talk about the details of Siggy, how did this all transpire? So your friend Taylor, who's a surfer, in Santa Cruz?
Yep, so Taylor and I, my friend Taylor Lane, who is my co-producer and star of the film and builder of these boards here, he and I met in Santa Cruz through the surfing community back in 2014, and he was studying industrial design at San Jose State. I was studying film at UC Santa Cruz, and he would hire me to make little videos of products he was creating in his industrial design classes. So we had a few years of working together and kind of building that trust and becoming friends ultimately. And so when Taylor had the idea for the first cigarette surfboard, I just knew this was a story worth following. We're both surfers, and we spend an immense amount of time in and around the ocean, so this is very near and dear to us, and just have a lot of love and respect for the ocean, and this project seemed like it was a good way to help tell a story of ocean conservation.
Yeah, so telling the story of ocean conservation, we were talking off camera a little bit, like, you know, we have, for example, the Yuba River here, and there's river ambassadors. I mean, we're all kind of ambassadors in some way or shape or form here, and how many cigarette butts we pick up, and it's shocking, and they don't go anywhere.
Yep.
They don't go anywhere.
They never fully decompose. It's the world's most littered item. It's a toxic mess. There's so many carcinogens and toxins in them, and these little filters here actually, when they come in contact with water, the filter kind of holds those toxins in and slow releases it over time. So there's been studies showing that one cigarette butt in a liter of water actually kills half of the fish in that container. And it's actually, even the butt itself, which is made from cellulose acetate, which is a form of plastic, that kills fish as well. So the butts themselves are toxic. You smoke a cigarette, the toxins, the tar, that all goes through it, and it's an environmental mess.
It's terrible.
Yeah.
It's terrible, Ben. Well, and there's a scene in there where Taylor, he has made the surfboard. The first time he takes it out.
Yeah.
I'm not going to give away the story, but there is, you know, as he's developing this, and just the first time it gets saturated with water, and then just the gunk that comes out of it. I mean, I think that could change anyone's life who's consuming cigarettes.
It's disgusting. Yeah. It's you know, I think our film is not aimed at necessarily getting people to stop smoking. That's your choice. We hope that you may end up there. But what we really don't want people doing is flicking their butts. This small little action that, as we can see here, just really adds up. And I think that's a central theme to the film, is small actions, whether negative or positive, they add up. And I think there's a lot of hope in that, and we want people to watch the film and feel inspired to make change. And you know, where there's a lot of bad stuff happening in our world, we want to give a glimmer of hope for solutions and let people feel like they can really be a part of that change.
Well, and it's also such an important way, creatively, I think, when we combine something artistic and connecting it to our wild world, it's helping to shape our culture and creating the world we want to see. So that's one of the things, too, I really loved about this film and what the two of you have created together. For what even prompted him, though?
To create the first surfboard. Yeah, he was prompted by the Visland Surfrider Foundation's Creators Contest, which is a contest held every year that basically encourages people to build an article of surfcraft out of upcycled materials. So Taylor had entered an entry in the contest in 2016. Him and I made a small video for that entry. Him and I went down to the Creators Contest in Southern California, and while we didn't make the podium that year, we were so inspired by all of these just awesome ideas of taking trash and turning it into something functional, this idea of upcycling.
It. Mm-hmm.
And so later that night was actually the night that Taylor and I were sitting out on the curb and being like, oh, this is like so cool. Like, we're so fired up about all of these cool ways that people around the world are finding ways to repurpose waste. And we're like, what should we make next year? And that conversation led to the first cigarette surfboard. And so the next year, Taylor built the first cigarette surfboard, and I'm not going to give away any more than that. You got to see the film.
You got to watch the film. So how many cigarette surfboards are there in existence then?
There's now 14 in existence.
14?
Yeah,
Wow.
there's one that we left in Ireland with professional surfer Fergal Smith, and then there's one in South Africa with professional surfer Mikey February. I'm not sure they're surfing them on a day-to-day basis, but they're holding on to them for now. And then there's been a couple that have been sold as art pieces to art collectors, and that helped us fund the film, which was great. But yeah, we travel around with them. We take them to film festivals, community screenings. We're now starting to do a lot of educational screenings. So
look how just one idea and how that can create ripples. So now it's like worldwide.
It's a global affair.
It's a global affair.
Yeah.
All right, let's go into the details of Siggy here.
Let's do it.
All right.
What do you want to know?
Well, let's see. Well, here we have it right here. So I know that he had to make a couple of prototypes, or at least one prototype to get this right.
Sure.
So for example, tell us about the surface of this and like how many cigarettes are on this, did it take to make the surfboard here?
Can I see that little prop right there? Slide it to me.
This is Jaden. We're our
Thank you,
timekeepers.
All right, so I think this shows it really well. This is a prototype for these Siggy boards, and this shows that it is one cigarette butt thick, laminated in with resin, and that's on the top and bottom of the surfboard. So it's one layer thick of cigarette butts on both the top and the bottom, and in the middle is foam. So traditional foam shaping done by incredible professional shapers such as Rob Machado, Mark Andrini. This one was shaped by Malcolm Campbell. And then Taylor comes in and he does all the cigarette art, and he basically inlays this veneer sheet of cigarette butts on the top and bottom. And then they glass the rails back on. They put a whole bunch of finishing touches on it. And, one of my favorite parts are these fins here, which really show the toxins and all in the cigarette butts. You can see like the black and the brown. And I think it's just like, I think what the boards do is they take this really disgusting thing and they kind of make it beautiful. And they're turning something that is such this emblem of our throwaway culture, our single-use, not my problem culture, into something that can start a good conversation. So that's what we're trying to do here.
That's amazing. What's the goal? How many cigarette surfboards do you want in existence here? I mean, obviously we want to eliminate the cigarette butts.
Yeah, that's the goal. I mean, Taylor's no longer building these boards. He built 14, and he said, that's enough years of my life. I've spent enough time around cigarette butts. And so, with these 14, we're really using them as these symbols to tell this bigger story. I think that's, he's not building them to sell them. Right. They're artistic statements. They're environmental statements. And I think the film and the surfboards together are this awesome coupling of kind of what's possible if we put our mind to something and commit ourselves to some wacky idea.
Yeah, I love it. It's what a creative way to bring joy, connect with, we're a water planet, so protecting that, having awareness, and hopefully creating a healthy environment for ourselves and the world we live in. Thank you so much, Ben. I appreciate everything you're doing. Thank you for being at Wild and Scenic. Thank you to Taylor as well, and keep us posted on what's going to happen next and educating. It's really awesome.
Give one last quote. So we are now influencing legislation in Santa Cruz that is banning the sale of these single-use filters. So that is a big goal of the project now, is using these surfboards in this film to help influence policy. And we're seeing success in Santa Cruz. And we want to spread that to other communities and jurisdictions across the state and eventually across the country. So we have more work ahead of us in a different way, and now we can really use these surfboards in the film to help propel and catalyze tangible change, which is awesome.
Congratulations. Where can people go to help support it?
Yeah, if you go to our website, thecigarettesurfboard.com, or our Instagram @thecigarettesurfboard, you can follow along with what we're doing. send us an email. We have our email on there. Sign up for our email list. We have plenty of ways to get involved, and we're always looking for new places to screen the film, city councils to go and speak with.
Okay.
We have a wealth of resources in terms of, again, pushing this policy message forward. So if anyone's interested in that, we're thrilled to share our blueprint of how we've had success in Santa Cruz.
Awesome. All right, the
Yeah.
cigarette surfboard. It's Ben, and he's going to be around. He'll be around just for a little bit longer with the board, but catch them, support them, catch them somewhere across the country. Thank you so much,
Yeah.
Ben.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, my
Yeah.
pleasure. I'm Elisa Parker. It is the Wild and Scenic Film Festival. We'll be right back.